EA is laying between 300 and 400 employees and has cancelled a game set in the Titanfall universe that they are working with Respawn Entertainment Studio. I know I'm a bit late to the sad news, but I just want to talk about why I'm glad this happened. If you know me, usually I criticize wokeness or company greed on my videos, but this one is a bit different because it hits me more in a much personal level. I'm not glad it's happening to them because EA is woke, also not because they are greedy, but to be honest though, they are greedy. We can all agree with that, right? Again, the reason why I'm glad that all of this stuff are happening is because due to what's happening with the layoffs, the rumored Titanfall 3 was cancelled. Let's talk about it. For those who don't know, Titanfall series is a sci-fi first-person shooter that implements giant robots on their gameplay. Think of Apex Legends, but you can also ride robots. Amazing, right? It brought something fresh in the FPS genre. Parkour, wall running, double jumps. It was fast, fluid, and fun. And then it gave you a 20-foot mech to drop out of the sky and wreck everything in sight. And it doesn't even stop there. They actually did a sequel, Titanfall 2. And that, my friends, is the masterpiece. To me, that was Respawn and EA's magnum opus. You may say that I'm glazing it too much, but I'm gonna admit I'm gonna glaze it because it's really good. First, the campaign was short, but damn near perfect. I still can't forget my first ever encounter and first time riding BT.
Please embark when ready.
With just two of us beating the shit out of everyone and even our first boss enemy. I know it was just a tutorial, but man, it felt amazing. I feel like I was the chosen one or something. It felt so good that I had to call my friends to share my experience and to convince them to play the game as well for themselves. That's how godly this game is. No debate. The multiplayer, on the other hand, it was also good. It was actually underrated and slept on. It blended pilots and titans so seamlessly. And I can't stress the seamlessly part enough that no other game has come close since. It was skill-based, intense, and actually innovative. Just imagine being immersed to this gameplay. Unfortunately though, EA buried it between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and it flopped so hard because those two games are literally part of two of the most biggest IPs ever when we're talking about the FPS genre. It deserved way better than what happened to it. So if you've never played Titanfall 2, you need to fix that, man. You're missing out on one of the best shooters ever made. Okay, enough with the glazing. Why am I saying all of this? Because the rumored Titanfall 3 seems different. That's the concerning part. It was actually said that it's gonna be another extraction shooter like Tarkov. And if that project continues, I can 100% predict that it will be cursed to fail in the end. Without a doubt. Look, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against extraction shooter. I think they are a great replacement or innovation after the hype of Battle Royale genre went out. Although they have some modes about it, Titanfall main charm isn't about extraction. It's about men fighting it out with their robot body to achieve their objective. To compete with everyone to see who's the greatest pilot ever. I may consider accepting the extraction shooter genre if they can somehow implement the robots as well, just like before. But again, I feel like it will be very different than what we played in the past. You know what I'm trying to say? And also, Marathon, another extraction shooter, just flopped real hard recently. Which means either people are not into extraction shooter anymore, or it's just quite difficult to pull a decent extraction shooter to begin with. Moreover, ES genre is a very niche genre because of its high-stake element. You don't see a lot of people, even streamers, play it for long, unlike other FPS, let's say Valorant, CSGO, or whatever. While these set games are also hard, it doesn't really penalize you as much as what extraction shooter does. Which again is not wrong, that's one of the main appeal of ES, but it's basically just not for casuals. Titanfall on the other hand, while also can be quite difficult, is still more casual friendly than ES. You just need to keep practicing to get better. Also, longtime fans like us don't really like too much changes. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with live adaptation of anime or Marvel comics. People who are loyal fans don't really like too much change. If you can replicate what's in the source material one to one, you should go for that. Of course, they're also open for some changes, but if you change the genre, it will surely change the whole dynamic of the game, which is a drastic change, in my opinion, and not a lot of fans would love that. Oh, some may argue that it's not really Titanfall 3, but a spin-off. But you know what? In this specific situation, that will just anger loyal fans even further. Why do I say that? Because we have been calling Respawn and EA to make Titanfall 3 for almost a decade now. Bro, you don't understand. I've been in the Titanfall community and this community are trying their best to keep this IP alive. From memes to highlight videos, even inviting everyone to play and participate on the Titan Revival project during the pandemic. And I've also seen a fan-made video or film about Titanfall. I've quite seen it all. The persistence and love of the community on this franchise is just insane. It's on another level. And for some reason, EA just seem to not care. Or maybe they're tone deaf, I don't know. And that's the reason why I'm so glad that this happens, because nobody wants that for sure. Men are simple creatures. We just want Titanfall 3. That's it. Is it really that hard to understand? They keep ignoring us fans and what we want. And you know what? Because of what they're doing, some indies are trying their best to create a game that is inspired by Titanfall. Just look at this. They even got a cool looking mecha. The gameplay still looks a bit junky, but to be completely honest with you all, I'd rather have this than what EA is planning to go with that extraction shooter Titanfall. I really hope this time EA will listen to us. You're the only one we're waiting here, because I feel like Respawn wants to do Titanfall 3 based on some of their interviews. But of course, they can't do shit unless you give them the go signal. Look at your community, listen to them, and give them what they want. So that's about it, guys. What do you guys think about this? Are you guys happy that it got cancelled? Or do you like to see what it's about? Or maybe we're just the same. Who loves a proper sequel to Titanfall 2? Anyways, put your comment in the comment section and we'll talk about it later. See you next time. Have a great day. Goodbye. Peace.